Hi everyone!
Hello everyone, we are back.
Getting closer to you.
Come on over, my
Come in
honey.
the centre, nice and close.
Come on over.
This is actually for our clips for social media. We need to be close together. That shows you the behind the scenes of what we do. Of actually the logistics of a podcast. If you do it yourselves, it can be a minefield. The technical errors we've had over the years of a multitude of things.
That you've had.
Yeah. It just can sometimes, I feel like people understand sometimes, it just randomly just won't work for some reason. You're just like, why not?
Yeah, I know. But I don't really have much to do with this side, so I'm like, I feel your pain, but
Yeah, I'm like, it seems hard, but
you're on your own.
yeah, let's fix it. There's always a solution, hey. So happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, happy
Wednesday.
midweek. Hope you're having a gorgeous week.
Yeah.
We were just saying what have we been up to, but to be honest, not
much has changed from last week.
Not
We're
much
really
has
in a routine,
changed.
aren't we? Like,
Yeah.
of winter life. I think actually last week, I think when we were speaking, I was saying to you how I feel like my life's calmed down so much, and I actually had an epiphany after the full moon.
Okay.
We're going to discuss about manifestation again today, but kind of coming back around after last time we did a full episode, it was a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But there was a full moon, wasn't it, last Monday?
It was definitely last
And
week,
I
yeah.
just felt like there was something, I just felt a little bit offish. Not
Right.
off, like not bad or sad or anything, just like a bit like I was getting overwhelmed because it was like a quiet week with work and I've just never been used to that in my life, so I think I was like confused. And then anyway, it just turned out that I needed a moment of realigning with what the next steps were, so like manifesting again for what's next, but also not putting pressure on. It happened to be chaotic. I think I've been so used to everything I've always wanted to involve a lot of chaos, but I think we've designed a life now that can be done in a less chaotic way. So yeah, I listened to a podcast and it really gave me clarity. But anyway, the point of this is I googled the full moon and what it meant, this full moon. And then we saw the afterglow of the full moon. So when we were driving in the car, it was like really glared around it. So I googled what does that mean, and it was like this is like the section where you might have felt off from the full moon because something wasn't right, and then you find clarity. And it was literally that night.
Wow.
It like clicked, like fully clicked in my head. I know we're really getting a bit hippy dippy
No,
now,
but
but
do you know
honestly,
what?
that did happen last week.
There's something nice about being able to just sit back and be able to think the reason that I was feeling like that is because there was a difference in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And that your body felt it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like sometimes acknowledging that and just being like, I'm just gonna ride the wave.
Yeah.
Is actually so nice.
Yeah, I feel like there's something massively, like, since we've done the tribe, that I'm definitely more in tune with myself, which can be a bit much sometimes because you actually are always thinking, like, what am I feeling? Like, why am I feeling this way? But it is so helpful to kind of, instead of just squishing everything down or not acknowledging things, I feel like understanding yourself and your emotions is such like a superpower.
Yeah.
So I was like, just like, what's up with you? That's what I was thinking. I was like, what's up? But like, there's nothing wrong, so what's wrong? And it was like, nothing was wrong. I was just like, needed a bit more clarity, and I genuinely, it was full moon week, so I believe in it.
It's so funny, isn't it? I think since we started doing the tribe and like what we do on retreats is help women bring clarity and calm to their lives.
Yeah.
And I think maybe at the start of our journey of doing the tribe, we didn't know that that's what we did.
No, we didn't.
We definitely
It's
we
crazy.
definitely did provide that service, but I don't think we understood that that's what we were able to do.
Yeah.
And I think we knew that there was something there that was like felt natural and felt right, but we couldn't quite put it into words.
Yeah, and it was like, what? Like, I think that's the thing with the tribe, it was such a strong gut feeling. Ever since it ever started, it's the strongest gut feeling I've ever had in my life. Like, no matter what's happened, I've just knew, like, it was meant to be something. I remember literally clearly, I think we'd done one retreat, and I think I said to someone, I was like, you know, when this goes massive one day, like, I'd love you to be a part of it. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, wow, I feel like that is manifesting without knowing it, because obviously there's still so much more we want to be or do, but I was like, you know, you can get involved in this because this is going to be the next big thing, and scream because we hadn't really done anything yet, but I don't know, I was just like, this is it, you know, like, I love it so much, and it did feel natural, but I didn't think we knew we were manifesting.
Yeah, I think the issue is we've been experiencing, like everybody does, but we still experience life as we're like facilitating these retreats.
Yeah.
So when we go on a retreat, it might be like, there was one that we went on in February that was like, stands out to me because I was very like fresh out
from the
of a breakup.
yeah.
As in like maybe a week later than the
Yeah.
breakup. And it's so hard because we can't really just put on a front, but
No.
there was no front to really put on. It was more like, and I think you'll know what I'm saying, I was very much like, well, that wasn't right, but whatever's next will be right.
Yeah.
But it was still very like, every retreat is very different. So I think whether you'd been on one 2 years ago or whether you came on one this year, it will be a very different retreat, but with the same concept.
Yeah, and
which
I think
has always
as you learn, the concept still applies. So like what you're saying, your life changed. I remember at times, like a couple of years ago, there's so many, especially with work and stuff, you could kind of lean in so much to what we was offering on the retreat, but like in a relationship side, it was quite sticky because you didn't want it to be true, but you knew like in your gut that something wasn't right. So it's very hard to manifest if there's a blockage.
But I didn't know that it was. So basically 3 years ago when we started this, I think I remember being on a retreat 2 years ago in Spain, and it was very much like, this is what the story was around the table. Somebody had said, this is what my boyfriend is bringing me and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
So this is how it's going to end. And then someone else said, mine was like that, and I ended it with him.
Yeah.
And I remember being like,
that's me. Yeah.
Like, I really don't want that to be me, but that is me.
Yeah.
So as much as we've always been in the manifesting, and I still manifested what I would still manifest today, my life has had to go upside down to be able to manifest.
Yeah. No, I think that's the thing, what you're saying about our businesses. I've learned so much from the other women that have come on, so maybe not from a relationship side, but just hearing their stories, and then it could be, we're obviously facilitating a situation that makes you become more in tune with yourself, more in tune with your life now and what you want.
Yeah.
So certain things that people have done in other aspects of their life, like we're not perfect, like being on retreat going like, no, I've got it all figured out, like in every sense
and
of
we
life.
definitely don't pretend to be like that either.
So we sit there and we do it with you, and I think in terms of that February retreat, I think we both looked at each other and we were like, oh god, it is a bit fresh, but we were actually like, we both know this is the best thing for you right now, is to like
be on retreat,
sit with your feelings, and then if any single part of it makes you feel better, or it's a positive outlet, isn't it? And I think the same for me. Every time I go on retreat, like, I'm so excited to go in a couple of weeks, because I was saying I was chasing a bit of clarity. I think now I've got that in my mind, that I'm all about just looking to the future and like what I think's coming next. There's nothing better than being in that setting on retreat where it's quite intense in the form of like you are having that time without any other distractions to think about whatever you've came on that retreat for. So like I'm again looking forward to it, and we've done it like 10 times.
It just gets better though.
It gets so much better.
I think where we kind of had to let our boundaries drop and let our we're quite empaths anyway, and I think we're quite like in tune with our emotions. So where we would be feeling something, anyone who's been on retreat will know what was going on. And I think being surrounded by women that are also so open to an experience and so open to like enhancing their lives, we've been able to then ride the wave with them. But now it's been like 15 times that we've done that. So I think we're very much more now in tune with the words of manifestation and how that actually looks to somebody, rather than it being like a buzzword.
Yeah, and I think how powerful it actually is. I think we want to do this podcast, this topic again, because we have seen the power of it in our lives and other people's lives. And I think in the past we didn't own it as much as we should have, in terms of knowing that, no, honestly, if you believe that you can get what you want, like, it's out there.
Yeah.
We've seen it, and I think without the retreats or without being in this cycle over and over again, I just wouldn't be where I am now. And until you sit back and go like, wow, this is actually crazy. No, I know, but I think that supported you like so much, because we were discussing how we think manifestation does. I think we always keep saying like it is having a plan, a vision, a clear vision of where you want to be, knowing that whatever you want in the future already exists in the future, you already has it. And if that's all new to you, it can be a little bit like, this is crazy, like what do you girls mean? But once you sit and do it, it makes so much sense, and you can visualise that. But I think sometimes often we forget that when we were saying about blockages, it's that gut feeling. And I think me and you have both felt it along the way with certain things, and the more you do it, the more in tune you get with it.
No, definitely. The
more you allow it to speak to you, you're like, okay, I hear you.
I think sometimes it can be overcomplicated as well.
Yeah.
I think you expect, maybe when you're first starting out with manifesting, to be like, this is how I want my life to be, so I'm going to just write it down and forget about it. Or I'm going to do a vision board and I'm going to get everything that I want on there, but then I'm going to put it in a cupboard and I'm never going to look at it again. I'm never going to think about it again.
Yeah.
But I truly don't think that works.
No, 100% it doesn't work.
That's not something that I would ever say to anyone to do, and that it'd be a good idea. Of course, if there's things on your vision board that you might have put on there and then put it away and not thought about it, that they might happen. So for instance, if you're in a relationship and you've put on there that you want to get married, there's a chance that would happen, regardless of you being like, I've put that on my vision board, so that's why it's happened.
Yeah.
Whereas I think actually the way that we manifest is we are able to live life as if that's already happened.
Yeah.
Or that we are so confident in ourselves that we know that is going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I know how my life is going to look in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
And I'm very sure that will happen.
Yeah.
And I'm even more sure of it now that I had the breakup and was so far away from it. To the outside, it looked like, well, you've just given up everything that you were going to have. But that would never have happened.
Yeah, like it wasn't moving along on the path. And I think once you start manifesting, you understand it. Things, I don't know if you agree with this. So say in your last relationship, it felt like a bit sticky, like it wasn't moving in the way that you wanted to. I find that with other things as well. Like if I'm manifesting the wrong thing or it doesn't align with like who I am or what I want, it feels hard, so much harder than what it would be if I was taking baby steps towards like little goals that really, really do align with who I am and who I want to be, who the future me is and what she does. Then that's better than like focusing so much on one thing that's like so far away.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But I think with the marriage and stuff, that's a good example, because people would think, oh, and that's what I was saying, if you put a wedding on the board, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. But I think if you're not aware of what you're worthy of, or like the self-love side of things, you'll think you're not going to be able to clearly visualise that someone wants to marry you. Do you know what I mean? You've got to work on yourself, your self-love, and be so confident. That's what I think we've done this so many times, that you forget they're such crucial things that as women we don't have sometimes. We don't put enough effort into self-love, that you're probably thinking, I'm not even thinking about that because like I just don't feel like I'm going to meet someone or that I'm going to get married. But Emily's like, I know I'm going to meet someone, I'm going to get married. And I think it's like owning what you want your future to look like and attracting that.
No, definitely. And as much as I've done it in terms of that, I've also done it in work. And you've got a very successful work story of how you've achieved it. This time, 18 months ago, I would say that you were very much like, I need to not change my job, I need to change my working hours. I need to be more flexible. I need to go travelling.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that's going to stop me from doing that.
No.
And it's you did it all.
Crazy. I think the main block for me was, and I think so many people that listen to this or come to the studio, come on retreat, they're in the situation of full-time, more corporate job, comfortable income, and then taking that transition to something where you can take more of a risk, I suppose. And I think that was probably what I waited a long time for. And then when I did leave, that thing started changing a lot quicker because it was like in my control.
Yeah.
But I think you can do it in in different ways, but I think that was the main thing. I remember doing our vision boards in the January, and I kind of remember what it looked like. I just knew I needed to get to Australia. I needed to go travelling for 3 months, and I couldn't do it in my job at the time. So then I asked the question, can I work remote? And then luckily enough, they said yeah, and I could. But I would never have asked that question because I already assumed that they were going to say no. But when I asked the question, I was okay with the fact that they might say no, and then I'm going to do this instead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not like someone who takes loads of risks. They're quite calculated risks. So then that worked out really well, and then I went travelling, and then it was just crazy because I think in terms of manifestation, I remember being in Bali and going to all these different studios, and I was thinking, I want one of them. I would like to own one of these. And like I can see it back at home. I was like, can't really see it here, can't really see me staying out travelling because I know I'd have to do my whole journey from the start. Like I already had a community back here, and I was literally so certain that like we needed to start looking and get one, that we were really quite on it when we were like, we're going to do this.
Well, I actually went to view the studio that we've got now when you were still in Bali.
Yeah. And then I've got the message from Emily that says like, this is it, I know it.
Yeah.
This is ours, I know it, or something like that. And I was all the way there and I was like, yeah, I agree.
And we actually like agreed to have it before you'd even come back and seen it.
Yeah, I was like, that's what I need. And then I was like, so if we're getting the studio, I want to live near to the studio. I kind of want my life to go that way.
Yeah.
And I think I think so many times on retreat, this is why honestly you all need to do a retreat because it's the best thing ever. Sometimes I don't realise what it is that I'm craving or that I want until I write it down in that journal. It was always coming back to needing to feel calmer. Do you remember reading my journal?
Yeah, I do, like, because we always share a journal.
Yeah.
It'd be so funny looking back at them now.
I know, I wish we had them all, but that just sums us up. I feel like we had a few and they're like, there's probably one with quite a few, but I wouldn't know which retreat it is.
But do you think your experience with manifesting has been just through like writing it down, doing your vision boards and, you know, what we see online? Or do you think it's been more of a like gut feeling?
I feel like it's been definitely, I am a planner. So I like the part of manifestation that for me is like, what's your goal and then how are you going to get there, and kind of, I do remember, this is years ago, this is before I even manifested. I used to work with an entrepreneur quite closely, and this is before I even like, I obviously knew I was doing it, but I didn't know of visualization.
Yeah.
And I remember he told me, and it was quite a few of them were like material things as well, so not as maybe emotional as it is for us, but he was like, every single thing that I've ever got, I've visualised it clearly in my mind and I've got it. And he said it to me just like in a conversation. He was like, everything I've ever wanted, I've been able to clearly picture it, and I can picture it. And I think I just remember that sticking with me, and then more lent into whatever I was doing with my life. And I think there's a gut feeling in like being able to visualise. I think if your gut's off, the vision's blurry. But I think if you can clearly visualise it, your gut's supporting you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I think when I've been able to clearly visualise something as a practical person, I've been able to put it pen to paper. Whereas if I was trying to do something that I didn't feel right, couldn't see, then that wouldn't be how I'd go, because I wouldn't be able to pull it off, I don't think. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, and I'm laughing because it's so true.
I think we had the conversation, didn't we, years ago, about being blurry, or I don't know, it just didn't feel
right. I remember you used to say to me, so I had a breakup in February, so just say this time last year, for example, I remember that you were saying to me, where do you like picture yourselves living? How do you picture your life? How would you picture a wedding? And I used to say to you, like, it's just so blurry that I don't know. Like, I can't imagine a house. I can't imagine, and we lived in a house, but we knew that it wasn't the house.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine if there were kids, I couldn't picture a wedding.
Yeah.
There was nothing in my brain that was like, it was just like blocked. And I remember being like, always saying to you, like, it's like as if like one of us died.
No, honestly.
And because it's not there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not there.
Yeah. I think that was one of the last, you know, when you have like, I have like a few key points in my life of like with friends. Like, I think because I've always been in a steady relationship, and I feel like as a friend, if I've known my friends.
Well, we were sat in the window at the studio, so it must have been January.
Yeah. And then I just remember it stuck with me, because I remember thinking like, oh, like, you know, you just think for your friend, like, this is so, like, I don't like this for you, and I'm sad because I know it's just like not right, but I sometimes they feel like a pivotal moment, don't they? I feel like the world just telling me something as well, and I feel like I've had that in the past with other friends, and then it's went bad. But I think because it wasn't me, I think if you are an empath, you feel so deeply what other people are going through that you're like,
and
I just wish this was easy for you.
I know, and we used to clash, didn't we? Because not in a bad way, but just like Rachel can't keep her thoughts to herself, so if there was something like on her mind, she'd be like, this isn't right, you know, and I'd be like, well, this is my life, so there's nothing I can do about it, so crack on, because this is what we're dealing with. And I was not gonna let that change.
But
it was very, very stressful. And I remember you saying to me, like, you just don't seem right. But everything that I've manifested could not have ever happened in that setting. So I think to anyone on the outside who didn't maybe know what was going on, they would have been like, poor Emily, she's so far away from anything that she actually wants. Whereas actually the moment that I found out what I found out, and the moment that I like was able to leave that situation, I'm so much further there.
And you've got more clarity than like ever.
Well, than ever.
Exactly.
And the gut feeling is like a very, very strong feeling that we truly do believe comes into manifesting. And I don't think that you can manifest purely with your head and not with your whole body.
No, and I don't think you'd go into like a relationship without that again, would you? Like, you try and trust it a little bit more, which can be blurry sometimes, but I think that's why you think nothing's ever perfect, because without that, how would you have known? Like, it's learning, and that's what's part of manifesting. It's not like everything always goes perfect all the time, but I think now as you move forward, you know that you need to be able to feel like things are right and that you can clearly see it, and it makes it more exciting, because you know that whoever you are with in the future, or however your life goes, it's like something that feels so right to you. And I think you said to me about that Mel Robbins thing, didn't you? And that's like a gut feeling.
I don't know if anyone, well, I don't know what this was. There was a clip on Instagram, but it might have been like a podcast or talk show or something, and she was saying that she tells her kids to look for 80%, and the way she described the 80% was that you feel this is in a partner, so you're looking for 80% of this feeling in a partner, that when you walk through the door, like, your shoulders drop and you relax and you feel calm and you just feel at home with someone. And the other 20% are learned behaviours, so you can learn to cook, you can learn to clean, you can learn to drive, you could learn to, I don't know, drop someone off somewhere, or and these are all little things that someone, like the 20%, sometimes we get very caught up in looking for someone. You know, you might be like, I want someone who goes to the gym and wears these clothes. And I don't know, like goes out here with his friends or something. Whereas actually they're in the 20% that don't really matter, because they might change all the way through their lives anyway.
And there could be 20. Another, and they're like, they might have that 20 that you think's missing. But they probably, if they're missing a lot of that 80, then that's not good.
But the 80 is what we need to. And then that's your gut feeling. So I feel like we always talk about our gut feeling and signs, don't we? And I suppose the signs really are your gut.
But I think on socials now, it's a lot about your nervous system, isn't it? And like, it's not something that we like go into lots on our retreats, because that terminology of it, like, I think is not what we like specialise in anyway. I mean, we'll do our research and we'll come back, or we'll get a specialist to help us. But I think that is that's relating to your nervous system, isn't it? It's like, how do you feel around a certain person, or in a job or whatever, because even when we speak about my journey about jobs, I think sometimes I try and not be like, oh, I quit my job and then everything went perfect, because I think sometimes that's pushed down people's throat too much, and it's not like that, because you could start a business tomorrow and it literally ruined you because you're not built for it. It's not what you enjoy. Like, it's hard work, it's not easy. That was just what I think even when I was a kid I knew I was meant to do it. So there might be a job, like maybe you're a lawyer and where you're working now you're on edge all the time, you don't like your people you work with, they're all a bit bitchy, like it's not as relaxed as you'd like to work in. I genuinely think you can manifest finding a law firm. Like, I was speaking to a woman the other day and she worked for a female owned law firm, and they have a lot more of like flexible working and like different initiatives. So it's not like quitting your job, it's kind of like believing that you're worthy of something that's more suited to you. And that's where you'll thrive. If you stick in a situation that doesn't align, your gut's all wrong and you're on edge, nervous system's off, then you're not going to progress, are you, on the journey?
It's so hard as well, because I feel like people sometimes we meet or will come to like yoga, or they'll go to Reiki, or you know, they'll spend money doing the things that make you calm in the moment, but really what we kind of get out of a retreat is how can we realign your whole life so that you feel so much calmer and so much like just happier and brighter within yourself every single day. That doesn't take a yoga class just to give you like a few moments of peace, and I'm all for a yoga class, like, you know I am, but that's very like temporary. And
we say on the retreats, it's like a toolbox. This is your abundance toolbox that you will leave with and you'll go away. And I feel like healthier habits like yoga, Pilates, routines, they're your tools, like they're your habits that you come back to, that realign you on this path, because they make you feel better. They're better for you mentally, you're in better settings around good people. But in terms of like, we might be speaking about this now and you might be thinking, I can't visualise anything and I just don't know where to start.
No, I know what you'll have done. You'll have turned us off.
Yeah, but that's fine. So if you're still here, you're open to it.
But don't turn us off, and just know that we've both been in that situation. And I think maybe like you'll agree with me that mine was particularly bad because it felt like my whole life. Whereas when it's something like work, you can almost be like, well, I don't really like work, but I love everything else. So it's kind of a little bit easier to manage. Whereas I know if you're in the position that I was in, then this will have been turned off and you'll never ever listen to us again.
I know, but I think that's to do with the clarity thing. So in terms of like your situation, relationship wise or job wise, I think what a lot of people do, which stops them from aligning with their true path, is they don't want to sit with their truth. Do you know what I mean? Like, they know something's off. Yours is a little bit harder because when you are in a relationship, you've been with someone for years, there is good sides. Like, you know, you want to see the good in everything, especially if you're that type of person. So it's very, very hard to sit and be like, how do I actually feel right now? And then, because probably if you put it down on paper, you'll be like, I need to leave. And it's a big thing to do. Same with a job. It might be that you feel like you're overwhelming yourself with different options and thoughts and business ideas you're going to start tomorrow or jobs you're going to do, but you're not actually sitting there and going, right, what is it that is I'm not enjoying about this job now? What do I need financially? And what is my, like, what feelings is it giving me, and how would I like to feel that's different from now? Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's the starting point you need to do, and don't be afraid of it. Just kind of like, could be anything. Like, if you're manifesting more money, like if you don't sit with your finances and see where things aren't going right, like, you're never going to be able to move from it because you have no visibility on where you are now. So I think that's like a big thing on retreats, is that we give you them prompts, and like everyone's sharing a little bit, and it's not intense. It's just kind of like, oh, I had that situation, I feel like a little bit like that, and it makes you feel seen and feel a part of something. So you're a bit more like, okay, I'm gonna open up a little bit more now.
It's so nice to be in situations where people do open up as well, because even in an event we had on the weekend, somebody had said, you know, I wasn't happy in my job and I've got out of it and I've been able to change my life basically. And somebody else in the same room was like, I'm stuck in a job that I don't like. Anyway, because of the setting, the conversation didn't last for long, but then one of the women reached out, didn't she, and said, can I have her details, because I want to give her a way out
what she's doing now.
Of her life that she's not enjoying right now. And I think that, like, even just being somewhere different to where maybe you normally are, or with people that are more open and like wanting to talk about things than maybe like your close friends, family or colleagues do, you never know what doors it'll open.
No, and like they're rooting for you. Like I think genuinely, when we did our last event, which was a social, I was speaking about this the other day. When we were there, so we did a little speech, and then on the mics, I don't think I'd planned to ask people to talk, but I just did, and I don't know why I did it. And then there was a few girls who'd been on retreat and like chat to us quite a lot, so we know they've been on a journey. And I thought, I know you might not like this right now, but I know it's really good for your confidence to speak on a mic if you've never done it before. Because even for me, I used to be painfully shy that my mum nearly taught me the doctors. So the stuff that we do now is insane. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to ask them. Like, would you mind saying a few words? And like 4 of the girls spoke, and it sounded like we'd pre-planned these speeches. I was tears in my eyes crying because they were sharing their journey since retreat or since event, and like their genuine stories. Like Connie won't mind me sharing because she let us use it for the socials, but she came on a retreat in the French Alps, obviously sat with her goals, sat with how she was feeling, sat with her current situation, went away. She went travelling for a year, has moved on to a different business where she's like freelancing, and she's posting on socials more than she ever has before, and that's like 3 massive wins. That is a catalyst from a retreat, and I just think these are real women, like with real stories, and like even when we hear them, we forget what the space is that we're creating, but it's powerful to get yourself in. It is
powerful, and I think it's very hard to think, and I've heard it said before, like, I couldn't spend that money on myself
100%
for going on a retreat, but the way that it could change your life if you're in a position like I was in, that Rachel was in, that these girls that we've just used as examples, that are real life examples by the way, were in, then it could be an invaluable experience for you to be in that setting, to learn all these tools to enhance your life going forward, and to allow your gut feeling and allow your nervous system to fully relax and allow yourself to just feel like truly at home with your whole life and not just with like a couple of aspects of it.
100%. I always think as well, like, because I spend money on retreats and courses like all the time, always have done on wellness. Probably, you know, if I work out what I spend a month on that, people are like, oh god, that's a bit much, but it's valuable to me, and I know it makes me like, I feel like I like to think anyone I look up to or aspire to be, or my future self, I always think she does that. Yeah. She spends money on that, she invests in that, she learns, and sometimes these things do cost money, but even if you're at a point where you're like, oh, I haven't got the money to do that, which we totally understand, like, it's not, spend this money and do it, but it's all back to the manifestation. It's like, I really want to go on a retreat, but I can't afford it right now. Like, I want to get on top of my finances or do a little change in my career, do a little side hustle, because I want to have more financial freedom to do X, Y, Z. Like, it mightn't be a retreat, but if you think something's going to push you along in your future journey, then it's like actually being honest with where you are now and how are you going to be able to do things like that. Because I remember years ago, I never would have spent the money on what I do now. No. But it's changed my life so much, and the people I've met doing it, as you say, it's like invaluable. Like, it's so, once you start doing it, you think, I get it now. Yeah. I get it now. It's
because crazy. It really is, like, when, like, we've done retreats now, we've done 15 or more, but we've gone through the journey, like we say, every single time, because you learn from other people. You learn from being around women that are so open. Yeah. And it is so nice, isn't it, to meet different people that just want to see you win.
No, I know. And I think as well, like, I think, like, the more you lean into it, the more the universe is on your side. And I'm getting a bit like, that's thinking, but I think it is. And I think with your situation, like, there's times where it's hard, isn't it, when you were, like, first dating and stuff like that. And then there's times where you're like, no, I've got to be excited because it's so much better than what it was. But I always think, because you were on this journey and the universe was like, babe, you're never going to get what you want in this situation. It actually told you. Because when I think back, it was a crazy situation to find out, but the world told you. And some of you might have had this situation where something's happened. Maybe you got sacked from a job.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, I loved that job so much. And then the next job was like the best ever.
Yeah. I
So
know.
It's got your back.
It's very, very strange. And I think like we often talk about signs, and you know, if you're in our WhatsApp group, then you probably might know the story already. But if you don't, then feel free to ask me, because I will tell you.
Yeah, we're honest and open here.
No, we are, because it's just the craziest story that actually happened. And I just think it was the only way like I could describe it is what I felt like I was in EastEnders. I felt like it was like the main plot, you know, and it was going to win an award at Christmas. Like, that's how it felt. Like, and it was very like, if you've had any like shocking news or you've found something out that's actually like shocking, it is like life-changing, really, isn't it? And I think you could almost be stuck in a cycle of like, why me, whereas we show you like, this is why, this is what's coming.
That's like a really like such a big thing. I think if you're not if you get in a negative loop, or you you don't have any resilience, or you don't build up, like I think your resilience helped you in that situation so much. So,
but I do really think that's because of retreats
and the community that we've got. Like, I think I know if something happened to me tomorrow, like I've not only got me amazing friends that I've got anyway, but like our community are my friends, and I feel like it's a super safe space. And I think because it's always been so natural, I just think I know I could go to any of them girls and they'd understand that, because we don't put ourselves out there to be like, we're perfect, like we know like anything could change tomorrow, but like we kind of have had these tools that have got us back on track every time. So if we could help you, then we definitely will.
And there's new people that join us every single week, every single day. Some that we haven't ever met in person before, but they're on the online community, and maybe they're in the WhatsApp group or the Instagram chat. But like, we don't see them all the time, or maybe we send them for one retreat and then we don't see them again personally, but they're there and they're engaged.
Like, guess what?
Guess what? Keeping it up to date. Like, you know, a couple of years ago, maybe like 18 months ago. 18 months ago, somebody came to us and they were like, I really want a baby. And they were struggling to have a baby. I think that they'd had like a complication. Anyway, now they've got like this beautiful baby girl, and like everyone in the chat was just so happy.
Like, congratulations.
Like, it's just like the nicest news, knowing that like she wanted that so much, and her partner booked that retreat for her, knowing that it would like help keep her spirits up and help keep her like confident, and knowing that her time will come. And then I think it must have like,
it was literally a couple of months after, wasn't it? I honestly say this all the time. We've said this is the year that we share more of the stories, because like, I think it's sometimes that we can't believe some of the stuff that's happened, and we're just not like that. We don't shout about it enough, but like, we've had some crazy things happen, and the most amazing things. So I'm like, get me more of it.
And you're not too late. Like, we're still very much on our journey, so come and join us.
Come and join us. I feel like it's a nice way to talk about it, because it's like, if you're listening to this and you're like, girlies, I've never manifested, I don't know what to do, get yourself a little piece of paper, get yourself a journal, and we'll send some prompts over into our broadcast channel this week to just kind of, because we do mention the podcast in the chat, so we'll help you. Maybe if I was going to start manifesting tomorrow, this is what I'd do. Try and connect with who you are, what you want, and just commit to yourself to start on your journey, because if you never start, then you'll never know. But like, how exciting that you might start tomorrow and then all this abundance comes to you, because we aren't joking. It's all there.
It's all there. And it might go upside down first, but it's going to get better.
Yeah, and then we'll tell you, if it happens to us, we'll tell you what to do. When it does.
But let us know where you're up to in your manifestation journey. And come and join all the tribe chats. Come and join us on retreats. We've got one space left for the 1st of November. And it could be yours.
It could be yours if you want it, and honestly, it's the best thing you'll ever do. We are always constantly working on like, what's next for you all. As soon as you get in our community, we work every day on coming up with like exciting events, retreats, everything that you can come together. So honestly, you don't want to miss out, because that's what our job is. To find new things for us all to do. So we are here if you have any questions, and we'd love you to be part of the tribe if you're not already, girlies.
So we will see you soon, maybe on retreat.
Bye.